Hey, it's God's Comic Brad Stine, and a quick warning, if you happen to be female, black, transgender, hunchback, lesbian, vegan, social justice warrior, Antifa, Muslim, albino, atheist, anti-gun, global warming expert, animal rights activist, deconstructed Christian, or progressive, you might want to change the channel. This is gonna get rough. I am a missionary to America. I've been called by God to help educate, inform, and inspire those of you who are tired of being ridiculed, slandered, and marginalized for your beliefs, and teach you how to fight back with faith, freedom, and philosophy. I realize philosophy isn't spelled with an F, but I just needed the sound to make it flow, as well as making me sound TED Talkish in my skills. But back to me. I must admit, I never anticipated that I'd become a prophet to America using my comedy and satire against political correctness that started many years ago. But for those of you new to my comedy, I was one of the first comics, and still the only Christian comic, to warn America and the church about the evil political correctness, and do it using laughter and fused with some Christian worldview. That's why so many churches bring me in for outreach events, because, well, we laugh and then examine truth. Recently, there have been others that have made an international impact by standing up against the nonsense of PC. One guy I love is Jordan Peterson. Watch.
Why should your right to freedom of speech trump a trans person's right not to be offended?
Because in order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. I mean, look at the conversation we're having right now. You know, like, you're certainly willing to risk offending me in the pursuit of truth. Why should you have the right to do that? It's been rather uncomfortable.
Well, I'm very glad I put you on the spot.
Well,
I'm very glad that I have exercised my freedom of speech.
You get my point. It's like you're doing what you should do, which is digging a bit to see what the hell's going on. And that is what you should do. But you're exercising your freedom of speech to certainly risk offending me. And that's fine. I think more power to you as far as I'm concerned.
So you haven't sat there and I'm just trying to work that out. I mean,
Gotcha.
You have got me. I'm trying to work that through in my head. Yeah. It took a while.
It did, yeah.
It took a while.
And then presidential candidate Donald Trump began using the technique. Check it out.
I'm not going to give you a question. You are fake news. Go ahead.
Pretty interesting and profound, huh? Well, now notice what I said years before both of them.
For crying out loud, but this whole idea of a president and people hurting our feelings is arbitrary. People just don't even have to have an argument anymore. They just say, you've hurt my feelings. You know how you stop political correctness? You stop doing it. Somebody says you hurt my feelings, and you say, I don't care. Game over. I win.
So, periodically on my show, I'll be giving you weapons to defend yourself and your freedom, so let's get to it, shall we? Lesson 1. Here's a phrase I hear younger folks use all the time, like a weapon. Don't judge me! By which I reply, you mean exactly like you're doing to me now. Never ceases to amaze me how incredibly easy it is to manipulate your average American when it comes to controlling their freedom. You'd think nothing would be more sacred and important to an American than their free will and the freedom to exercise it in public and private, whenever they choose. Sadly, this isn't the case. We've got a group of Americans that have learned that they can steal other Americans' freedoms anytime they choose, simply by demanding they be treated in a way that they never reciprocate. For example, if someone says, you can't judge me, there are many of you who take a pause and feel uncomfortable because you begin to battle within yourself, wondering, am I judging them? Who am I to judge? But here's the flaw in the reasoning. Whenever someone tries to control your behavior, they normally do it by invoking a moral claim. They're implying it's immoral for you to judge them. Ask yourself, where do they get their morals from? Whenever someone makes a moral claim, they got to justify it. This is the irony of the phrase, you can't judge me, because the moment someone uses that phrase, they are literally judging you and your behavior, which is exactly what they've just forbidden you to do to them. So rule number 1, if someone demands a specific behavior from you, but exclude themselves from having to behave the same way, they are, by their own definition, immoral, and they are stealing from you. See? The only moral code humans are actually bound to is the Judeo-Christian God, as that is the standard used by the West for thousands of years. One of God's commands is, judge not, lest you be judged. But what measure you meet, if it's going to be measured to you, but in context, we're not to be hypocrites by judging others by a separate standard than what we judge ourselves. We judge things all the time, and we have to. When someone says don't judge, they're assuming there's a standard by which we're all bound. So judging or assessing a behavior, it's necessary, as long as it affirms what God says about a behavior. The Bible says drunkenness is a sin. If someone is drunk and you say it's wrong, you're agreeing with God. He made the judgment. We're just passing on the info. So you practice lesson 1 by getting used to always seeing if people ask something of you that they're not willing to do themselves. If so, they can safely be ignored and judged. I even mock them, but I'm a comic. Till you do this, you're going to be run roughshod over by those who judge themselves superior to you. You like this new freedom? Stay tuned, my people. I'm just getting warmed up. Hi, guys. Brad Stine here. Like and subscribe to my channel. And if you don't, I'll be looking for you. You think I can't find you? Do you think I don't know where you are? Oh, and hit the notification bell. That way I can find you in the dark. And watch one of these videos.